Hey, Smoking Spot fans! We're here to tell you about the newest launch from Centelligence Projects.
Over the last year, we've created the Cannabis Aroma Wheel. It's a sensory tool designed to help cannasseurs take their knowledge to the next level. So whether you're a bud tender, dispensary owner, cultivator, or you just love the smell of weed, you can better appreciate the cannabis in front of you.
Get your copy of the most detailed sensory tool built specifically for the cannabis industry and order your Cannabis Aroma Wheel today at centelligenceproject.com.
I come out from under the soil in the earth, breaking through the rocks, growing wild and tall till the buds begin to pop. So pack me in a bowl or roll me in a spliff. While you're breaking me down, you can feel your...
Hi, it's Ryan here in Portland, Oregon, and I'm here with Amanda.
Also in Portland, Oregon.
Yes.
Yeah, pew, pew, pew.
Amanda's here visiting, doing a quick whirlwind West Coast tour. And so we said, let's get together. Let's get some weed. Let's get the Cannabis Aroma Wheel out and let's taste some stuff.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We went to what I would consider a bunch of really solid Portland dispensaries. I was absolutely wowed by the selection.
I'm glad you were. That was kind of my idea, at least. And I love it because we sat down and we were like, okay, here's our list of like 15 dispensaries we can hit. We legitimately can only hit like 6 or 7. So let's do that. And we did. We like ran around and checked out a bunch of places.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to the Treehouse and Archive. And we even went to like an electric lettuce.
That was fun. Yeah. I got a lighter. Right. Yeah, that was good.
We were all over the place. So
we're missing one. We went to one other one. It was
Oregon.
Oregon, yes.
Oregon
wow.
Yeah.
And that was cool. That was the first one we went to, right?
Yes, yeah.
Oh my God. And they had the fan. I've never seen that before because we don't do deli style in Ontario. Deli style being where you can see the weed and then they open the jar and you can smell the weed and you can look at it in the jar. And so that was really neat because they had these little fans. So they were blowing the smells at us so we could actually really get a true aromatic experience, which is so what we needed for today's project, for today's exploration, because we wanted to hit smells in every category of the wheel.
Yeah, we were real curveballing people. We were coming in and being like, here's the wheel. We need something that is fruity, but not citrus.
Yes.
Make sure it's over here on this like berry purple end of the spectrum.
Oh, yeah.
And some bud tenders were like, oh, okay, I'll see what I can do. But yeah, it was just fun for us to just run around and scavenger hunt it all and get some good stuff.
Well, I would honestly say there's no way we could have done this in Ontario.
Oh, sure. Yeah. It would have just cost us more, I guess, because we would have had to like buy more stuff.
A bunch of mystery strains.
Yeah. I mean, I think Gorilla Glue is kind of earthy. Let's buy it and see what this batch is like.
Exactly. So actually, this was the perfect place for us. I think we kind of did it in reverse because normally you'd pick a strain and then bring it home and reveal the smell, but we wanted to cover all of our categories. And so we did sort of a reverse seeking out strains to match particular aromatics that we wanted to experience using the wheel. Yeah. So it was actually very cool to see. For me, one of the wows was a strain that was actually called like Cherry Blossom. It was a CBD cross, it actually smelled like banana bread.
Yeah. Any of the cherry things, I'm always like, I don't know if it's actually going to smell like cherry. It so rarely does. And so she was like, oh, check out the CBD cherry cross. And okay, cherry is a flavor that like ends up in CBD more often than in THC rich strains. So I thought, okay, great. She's going to show us something kind of cherry. And she was like, it smells exactly like banana bread. And so we like ran over like, okay, let's see that jar. And she was right.
It was 100%. Crazy. Yeah. And that was so exciting to me because that is our bakery category. And a lot of people have looked at this and said, bakery, proof. 100. I felt so validated. Yes. I was like, that's the bakery smell we're always talking about. It actually smells like fresh. And you know what? It tastes like banana bread too.
Oh,
I smoked some the other day and I was like, I forgot I put it in. I was like, what is that? I was like, I feel like I'm licking the batter off of a spoon.
Oh, that's so great. Shout out to fake banana flavor, which I have like a certain affinity for, like the banana runs type thing. I always think that's good. It's summer here, guys. It feels like it anyways. Portland, it's going to be like 90 degrees here today. So, I'm driving home from day at the river, stop at Dairy Queen, grab myself a banana milkshake because
Ew,
I'm like,
no.
it needs to be Runs flavored.
I am lactose free.
And I'm sorry there. Oat milk, amazing milkshakes if you can get one. So this though was not that saccharine fake banana Runs. That thing was full of banana puree or banana mush or mashed up bananas or whatever it was. It was amazing. I wish that I had some Nilla wafers to dip in it. It was too good. So anyway, I say that because I am super stoked about the fruity flavors we have here today. I want to get into those, just like all of the funky ones as well. We're kind of short-ish on time. So I think what we're going to do is kind of speed round some of this weed and give us like a minute or so of the information we think we need. And then I think we'll choose whatever Amanda wants to get into and step out and smoke and then wrap this one up today. So maybe this is a shorter episode or maybe we've crammed some other info in around it, but I think for the most part should be good to listen to. So we have one open jar here. At this point, most of these jars are unlabeled, and I'm just like, okay, I know what this is.
Oh, that's true. You know what? I saw they were unlabeled, and I was thinking, what the heck? We don't know which one's which, but that's why they pay us the big bucks, right?
Yeah, right.
This is actually our last like little hangout before I leave.
Right, leave it to the procrastinators to save the like smoking weed to the very end of the trip, 5 minutes before we have to leave. But yeah, here we go. This is some quintessential classic Jack Herer.
Oh,
which I have such a fond memory from this. When I was on living in Maui 20 years ago, we tried to get some weed from all of the young people there, and they all just gave us like pretty scrappy looking weed, and it was just okay. And we ran into this dude who was out fishing one day, and we walked by him like 6 times. We're like, this guy has a good weed. He said, hey man, look, we've been smoking nothing but like dirt weed since we got here. Do you know where we can get some weed? And he was like, no, guys, I'm sorry. Like, whatever. And, you know, we saw him a couple more times and he was like, all right, guys, come here. Give me your phone number. Let me know what you're saying. And he dropped off this weed. I had no idea it was Jack Herer. I just knew that it was the fruitiest fucking thing I'd ever smelled, smelling weed like as a young person. And now anytime I get a particularly good batch of it, I'm just instantly transported right back there. So, hey, help me out here. You take a little crumb. I take a crumb. Let me get us a little tasting tray to discard our crumbs. I don't care if we just destroy this weed. Let's just.
Okay, I do want to say, though, this nug is stunning. Absolutely stunning.
I felt bad tearing into these big, like, chunky nugs.
Oh, it smells so good. And Ryan was trying to put me to the test the other day on this unlabeled jar, and he was like, guess which strain this is? And I was like, fuck, it smells so freaking good. I know this one. But with thousands and thousands of strains to choose from. And the look of it, it's so sticky.
It is. It's also a little fresh, too.
I love it.
Yeah, it's nice. It really gummed up my grinder when I was running it through.
Oh my gosh, that smells so good.
Burns nicely for like.
All right, do you want to break this one down using the wheel?
Yes,
what do you
I do. Okay,
here?
all right. I know I'm immediately going to go to sweet. I'm going to go to candy, and I'm going to find bubble gum. And yeah, bubble gum is right there, right next to the artificial banana that I was talking about. I think those both lean towards that like ethylene, big sweet, like part chemical, part sweet flavors.
Oh, that's so good.
Bubblegum right next to gummy. I would even say this has some bubblegum gummy vibes. And then I get up towards sweet and probably throw some fruit at it. What are you getting?
I was going to throw some fruit at it. Yeah, 100% sweet as. Definitely the bubblegum is there. That is just.
Yeah, I think most people are going to find that.
But I'm thinking maybe is it like an orchard fruit, an underlying orchardy to berry leaning?
Yeah, that's exactly where I was looking, like almost on that. It could be cherry, maybe like plums. I'm getting some kind of stone fruit. Maybe I would just call it that.
Yeah, so it's definitely leaning into the secondary aromatic of fruity. God, that is so freaking delarge.
Yeah. So, and then I don't know, probably fresh. What if we're gonna put a third descriptor on it, like you would? That's what I call my coffee bag descriptor. Because anytime you're buying a bag of coffee, it's like tamarind, chocolate, brown sugar. I'm like, okay, great, let's do that for wheat.
I love that you said that because it is ridiculously fresh smelling. This is tough. I don't know that I can pinpoint the freshness, but it's like
I mean, you could say like dewy grass. I think that's totally fine.
I think a dewy grass would work because it really has that lightness.
Fresh, kind of smells like the morning.
You know what?
Morning bubble gum.
I don't even hate having a solid descriptor 1, 2, and then breaking into just a generic sort of fresh family.
Oh, and just saying fresh.
You know, because it is that sort of third layer.
By the time you get there, like, is it helpful? When you're saying that, is it more helpful to say like this smells like wet stone? Maybe it is, but
if it was the top note, probably yes.
Yeah.
But as our base note, I sort of love just as
I
a
could
fresh
smell
category.
this all day. And
oh my
we
gosh.
don't have all day.
I'm just sniffing my fingers.
I know, same. All right. Do you want something similar? Let's stick in that similar category to see how something similar can also be different. So I have a Durban cross here. While Amanda is talking about it, I'm going to look up the exact cross.
Well, I'm actually zooming in on this. That's nice.
That's beautiful. It's from Deep Creek, and truly, this is like one of the most stunning looking buds. I went to the beach yesterday, and I met a friend, and they had a bunch of cookies crosses. And I thought it was interesting that their weed was so like striped in purple and like little tiny nuglets. And I had a bunch of like Durban, terpenoline, Jack type stuff. And this looks wild. It really is like very much more expressive and also still amazing looking herb.
Oh my God.
Here, why don't you take that?
So I'm going to describe what we're seeing here. You so rarely see the orange hairs anymore. It's really hard to find really robust hairs on weed. It gets trimmed off in the machine. It gets trimmed off by poor hand trimming or just dryness, right? Moisture levels are going to play a huge role in maintaining them. It's beautiful. Oh, man.
Okay. While you do that, okay, here we go. This is going to be the Rip City Durban from Deep Creek. It's Durban Poison by the White by Super Durban. So it's a little bit of a wound up Durban cross. Really nice.
Okay, so I'm immediately getting swimming pool.
Nerding out. Okay, yeah. Swimming pool. It's got that chem smell for sure.
But like chem, not in a stinky, gross way, like in a sweet, like the sweetness of a chlorine.
Yeah.
Which we're getting even more confusing here because we're jumping all over because it does have this sweetness to it.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm going to bring some sweetness out. I would even say there's some fruitiness. I get like a real tropical, maybe pineapple from this one too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I love about weed tastings in general is sitting across a table from somebody or next to somebody on a bench and saying, oh, hey, this smells like lilac. The other person being like, fuck, yeah, it does. And it's like you never would have found that if you weren't having that and communicating with somebody. And like in some ways, the wheel is that because you can sit across from it and read it and go like, I don't know, apricot, cherry.
I think you can really give yourself a minute to read through the list and not force your brain to come up with answers. And you can just start to look through things and think, where does this fit into? And if we had just said, oh, this is gassy or fruity, it really would not have encompassed the actual experience.
No, absolutely not. And speaking of gassy, I have actually went into Treehouse looking for some specific herb that I thought would represent gassy for us. And I won't call the cultivator out because it did not quite cut the mustard. So we did the scavenger hunt thing. We said, hey, Treehouse, what can you do? Can you show us the gassiest weed you have? And they were like, oh, yeah, we can. And it is this Cookie D from Resin Ranchers. And this stuff just positively reeks.
And shout out to Resin Ranchers because they've been really big supporters of ours online, especially listening to our episodes, commenting. It's so nice to have support from the community.
Well, that's why it was also nice to be able to.
Oh my gosh. What the holy
It was nice to kick them some love too.
So hang on a second because part of when I do evaluations, I rate sort of this, not just what does it smell like, but how strong does it smell?
We have to talk about potency and sillage.
100%. This is a 10 out of 10. 10. Stink level 10. Wow, that has a lot of smell to it.
Yeah. And, a little more love for Resin Ranchers. Their Marshmallow OG was so surprising to me. I don't have the cross available to me off the top of my head.
God, this bud is beautiful.
But it was one of those things where I went and I was like, oh, yeah, let me try that. It's new on the shelf. And I brought it home and I was like, fuck, this is like a really exaggerated OG profile. And I mean, it just ticked all the boxes for sure. I went back for it as many times as I could before the jar was gone. So
wow, that is
Okay, well, let's get more specific because right now we're just telling people it's loud. Okay.
See, generic, I would just normally, without the wheel,
Yep.
you'd say it's pungent.
Sure. Yep.
But there's so many layers to it.
Well, and a lot of getting weed sold is just putting a pungent jar in front of somebody's face. And that's why I have so many of these like Durban expressions and things, because I was just looking for really loud stuff, and that's like what people were giving to me. Oh yeah, this is the loudest, and they're not wrong.
So
kick us off.
No, you want to go?
Sure. I'm loving like the straight up funk gassy of this.
100% funk. 100%.
There's just gas in there. And I think diesel tends to have like a sweeter smell, so I just would say unleaded gasoline. And then it's getting into the sulfur, skunk, like thick, heavy thiols as well. So I'm going to throw some of those in there. And then what are you noticing that I'm not?
Well, I'm trying to do the thing where we burn out our olfaction. So because when I'm first hit with it, all you're getting is this, heavy gas smell. And the more you smell it, it starts to fade away because our nose becomes accustomed to that smell. And it's giving me, this is tough. There's a subtle sweetness for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Very subtle sweetness.
And I think that like that there's like a very clean, almost floral note to it. So whether we want to dig into the florals, it's probably more into this chem, like that floral is almost more like a Windex type thing.
Yeah, I think we're definitely lingering in the gassy category, real hot.
Yeah, just like a grandma soap.
I don't even know. I might even want to say like some of the spices or the herbs can maybe be, there's a lot of like third notes in there.
Yeah, this one is really complex. Like I think that you could really dig into this and pull like 6 or 7 or like I used to do old school scent descriptions that had like 14 or 15, which I really do enjoy. That's more about self-expression than communication. But if we're trying to communicate, coffee bag, make it easy for the consumer, then, I'm going to break it down to 5 at most.
Oh, wow. And I got to say that nub, it's actually, I have a little crumb sticking to my nose. So sticky, icky.
Nice.
That is sticky, icky.
It's sticky when your fingers can pick up a bag of weed.
Wow.
All right.
Oh, that's really good.
Thanks y'all. Okay, we're short on time. Do we want to wrap one up and roll one up, or do you want to get into like 2 more flavors before we got to go?
Let's just do a quick and dirty. Did we open this one yet?
No.
Yes. No.
Here, get into. I'll let you know with my nose.
Oh.
Okay. This is the koala from Midnight Fruit Company. And this is the koala cut from Sterling Gold. Lion Tree Farms. That they've had for a while. Koala is really good. I've done impressions on it in the past, and I said, "Oh, this koala has got a crazy eucalyptol note."
Oh my God, yes!
Right? It's got eucalyptus. It's fun that it's called koala. The interesting thing is the test they had run back in the day showed no eucalyptol. So we're getting that scent from other molecules, or the test was bullshit.
And are you leaning towards secondary being a candy? What's that sweetness that's coming through?
Oh, dude, it's really fun.
I feel like I'm getting dizzy. It's so delicious. Holy shit.
Yeah, here, just tear into that if you care to. This one is definitely, I want to pull something just directly from sweet. I think there is like a burnt sugar thing going on.
Oh my God. I'm looking in the, like not quite honey, but I can get a burnt sugar.
Yeah, we have honey and caramel under dessert. So that's nice because it's pretty close.
But there is a sweetness
I don't think you'd be wrong, but I think I'm getting more like Maillard, more like, something that is closer to burning.
Oh, the herbaceousness of it, though. It first hits you with that real green.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's like, so we have camphor on here, and I think it's got a kind of like a nose tickling element to it as well.
And again, absolutely stunning flower.
Yeah, this one turned out really well. Midnight Fruit Company, we're really killing it this round.
Super wowed
All
by
of the
it.
buds have just incredible structure, really nice. And good to see this koala like live on in other gardens and still have crazy unique scent. I know that I want you to smell this high desert sour sage. This
Ooh, yes!
Something we picked up from Oregon, and it is.
So this one's from Oregon.
Start us off.
Oh my God, I was beyond stoked when they busted out those fans.
That,
like,
that's like a COVID thing when they were like, look, we can't get noses near jars. Someone had the brilliant idea to do fans, and then whoever sourced their fans at Oregon found what looks like it could be called on Amazon, small battery fan, weed jar fan, jar for smelling weed jars, fan.
That is
boy,
okay.
girl.
My first note was
okay.
stank.
It is stank. It's sharp. It is spicy. It's getting into that.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. It dropped a little bit.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. It's literally stuck to my sock. It is so fucking
You can't be in my house without stepping on weed.
It literally stuck to me. Wow, that is. And again, I would give pungency high. These strains are
I'm going to
nice.
say this one's like a 9 in the pungency. And,
oh my God, I was going to say 9. Yeah.
And here's the thing. I know that Resin Ranchers was just harvested. Like, let me see. I'm sure it's got a 424. So really not that long ago. A little bit longer than I thought, but still not.
Wow.
Now this Oregon is from 410. Okay, so these are similarly harvested in the same window, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I love that. And the thing is, we smell just a little bit of everything. Yeah. We didn't I just want to highlight how amazing the pot is in Portland, because we did not have to hard search to find stuff. We were having to be picky to the point that everything was absolutely amazing. I am really wowed by what is available in Oregon.
We are definitely spoiled, and that extends down to the hash rosins, the gummies, the edibles in general. We just have it good. So, I mean, book a trip out here and let's show you the good spots.
Honestly, I'm getting a secondary note of a musty basement.
Yeah, I think musty basement. I think even tomato leaf is in there.
There's definitely some earthy top notes, herbaceous into spicy for sure. Secondary into gassy. I think that's where the stank is coming from.
Oh yeah, which I think you could get wild leek or onion, some of those like funky. I think there's like a cat urine smell of this. Anyone who tells me that there's no good cat piss around anymore, I challenge them with this. It's not like the first note that comes across, but it has that sharp, that acrid note that hits you in that same way.
Yeah.
That I feel like, somebody who needs to change the litter box.
Well, it's kind of crazy because I feel like for me, as I'm trying to find all these smells in weed, we don't have access to this level of deliciousness where I live.
Or you do, it might just be harder to search out.
It's really hard to find. Stuff isn't super fresh on the shelves. Also, again, it's hidden. So you really have to try a bunch of strains before you find the thing you're looking for. But when I'm experiencing high quality cannabis that is very aromatic, high level of pungency, I really do have the smell memories. And so for this one, as we sort of started to burn out the top note and tried to get into the secondary and third notes, I really had a throwback scent memory of my aunt's basement.
Yeah. Yes. It is crazy how those things will just like connect with you. And you're like, that's
the one.
I have an association with this smell.
Yeah.
But maybe I didn't even know it. And I think that's also why so many people connect with like diesel and gassy smells. It's like, hey, if you're a kid growing up, at least in the United States, you've just been around cars and that sort of thing for so long.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, well, I know we're out of time, and I want to get into some of these fun flavors as well. So you can find us on all the things. If you're listening, you know where to find us.
You know where to find us.
Definitely check out the wheel. Go to Scenttelligenceproject.com. We have digital copies. We have copies that will print and send to you from professional museum archival printers. Really great stuff. And I think it really pays to have this sensory tool kicking around.
Yeah, this is the one. And I'm really sad to leave Portland because it's been such a good time.
I know. Somebody's got to smoke all this weed.
Oh, fuck.
Stay tuned. Amanda's got a lot more to talk about on the West Coast on the show and other places. And
we have to dig into Portland too. This is tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. This is just like a little preview of just the weed. So we will talk more about it on upcoming shows, or maybe you've already even heard about them. So stay tuned.
Said no matter what kind of pain and anguish life may bring you, oh, smoke it up, hold it down, and don't ever stop. Well, you can always find your smoking spot. Yeah, you can always find your smoking spot.